Okay, let's see if we could do this. This is Heather's recap, part two. Not sure when she did it, but I'm sure she did it early in the morning. Because I woke up and I saw it. So we know how she likes to be up at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Um, okay, so and hopefully it's y'all can hear her over because I had to turn it up so we could hear her talk, but like the bike that she's on, it's making a lot of noise. So sorry, I don't know. I wish the bike wasn't so loud.
Good morning. Hello and good morning. What's up, guys? What up? So, as promised, anyone who watched my first YouTube, the long video about the moments leading up to Dylan's release, here we are for the second little update. So I think we left off, I had just gotten stabbed, and I just want to reiterate that prior to any of those stabbings and beatings and floodings that I had discussed, I had never been the victim of a violent crime before, ever. So...
Okay, I have to say something, and it's kind of strange for me to actually say this. It irritates me, I guess, because it's personal for her to say that she's never been a victim of her crime before the stabbing. I guess people think of it of like a different way, but being like, I don't know. I guess it struck a nerve personally with me. I guess it depends like who's listening. People probably think a different thing. But I know, unfortunately, what happened to me, it was violent and it was a crime. I don't go around saying, like, I've had violent crimes happen to me. I mean, I don't go around saying, like, freaking telling anybody, like, what happened. But I think it just personally kind of pissed me off because if you have been raped before, how is it not violent? And how is it not a crime? I mean, lucky for you. I'm so glad, Heather, that you did not have to experience that. So from now on, I'm going to lose my shit whenever she says that she's been raped. Because obviously it wasn't that bad. Because let me tell you, you talk about it. You get upset and you can vent whenever you have been violently assaulted. That is obviously you've been talking about all these people that you're paying and you really wasn't assaulted. You just maybe didn't really want to do it, but you had to do it to get money. So you did want to do it in that part. Maybe I think I'm taking it a little bit personal because I'm starting to get heated. But I don't know. In my head, I'm glad, Heather, you did not have to go through that. I'm glad that your rape was not a violent crime because most of ours are violent as hell and it fucking sucks. But we don't go around crying victim and talking about it every fucking day. Like that shit really pisses me off and I'm sorry that I'm cussing, but that really upset me. Okay, sorry. Moving on now to your freaking violent crimes.
To get out, we're doing a reality show. I have nowhere for him to parole to, so I start looking like a crazy person. I call his mom. My apartment is completely flooded, trashed. The landlord, a lady named Iris, stops answering the phone conveniently. Now, I knew there was a problem with the pipes or whatever the fuck because in the backyard there was like all this concrete dug up from where they were trying to fix them before. but she had told me that it wasn't a problem. You know, they had resolved it. Well, clearly not. So I don't know if you guys have seen that YouTube documentary called, I don't know what it's called, but it's this Asian lady, and she talks about the importance of letting go of items, organizing, and how when you're ready to let go of a piece of clothing or furniture or something, it's not serving its purpose, your space is crowded, you know, have respect for the item, kind of say a goodbye to the item and get rid of it. Tidying up, I think, with Marie Cuomo or Kono. My bad for the mispronunciation. Something like that. So the night before the flood, I'm sitting on the floor. All three kids are in bed, and I'm stabbed up. And I'm trying to get the house ready for Dylan, who's coming home in 2 weeks, and we're set to shoot a reality show there in the house. So, I also had a bidet in that apartment. So besides the flood coming out,
I love how she needed to make sure she added that she had a bidet. So, of course, she has to tell us in the bidet. Water was coming out of the bidet as well. She's a horrible storyteller. It's driving me crazy because it's not like she doesn't go, like she jumps around. So it's like she just mentioned, I was laying in bed all stabbed up. And then she's like, oh yeah. I don't know. It's just confusing because it's like the first video, she was saying how she went outside to move her car and then she couldn't get back in because the pressure of the water from inside her place, it was like not letting her open the door because the pressure was so bad. It was coming out of everything. So now she's telling us, I guess, this happened before she went to move her car. I don't know. I think she likes to tell stories. True and false.
Out of the toilet, it was coming out of the bidet, coming out of the shower, coming out of the sinks. It was a double sink. So it was, coming from everywhere. The washer and dryer, the kitchen, everywhere. So I'm watching the show, and I've got all my clothes, the kids' clothes, shoes, all.
See, that drives me crazy. Because she jumps so quickly. Like, it's coming out of this, it's coming out of that, which I didn't know water could come out of a dryer. Who knew? I didn't. It's coming out, the water's coming out of everywhere. So I'm doing these clothes, and it's like, can you please paint the picture a little easier for us to see?
On the floor in piles. Okay, this is for my bebe, this is for my Alexis, this is for my baby, this is mine, this is for donation, this is basura, and I'm making piles. And I get tired at 2, 3 in the morning and try to go to sleep. That's when I got woken up by that loud water noise. All this is discussed in the YouTube video. I'll link it on my YouTube channel. So let's fast forward past the losing everything from the flood. I go to the landlord. She doesn't help me. I go to the alderman. I go to all my neighbors. I call lawyers. No one does shit. I try to file with the state in court. No one does shit. No one. The local alderman at that time was on. It was for North.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what she was trying to get help for, what she was trying to do between everybody, but I'm wondering if this is one of, if these are one of the stories or circumstances that she had to go through, and it wasn't anybody's fault. It was just another one of her stories that's she just kind of blew up, kind of being like a drama queen or way exaggerating or not really telling the true full story. She wanted to like turn the story and make it seem like she was being victimized, you know. But yeah, I mean, Heather, unfortunately, that happens to people all the time. All the time. And you just have to, you know, pray. And a lot of times, like my sister, you have to start from scratch. And hopefully, there's family and friends who can help you get through it. But, I mean, that wasn't something that was done to you. Okay, sorry, rant.
I believe on Lincoln Avenue. I went in there, I made an appointment, I spoke with them, I poured my heart out. I'm like, look, this is every dollar that I've ever made, I've used to buy clothes and toys and, you know, things to take care of my family. Not frivolous spending like, you know, a bunch of Valentinos and Pradas. Just clothes, you know, stuff that we needed. It was all destroyed. I can't get a hold of my landlord. You know, I've filed motions. No one's helping me. I need help. No one ever followed up with me. So I do my best to start asking everyone for help. Like my parents, my Aunt Diane, Aunt Stacy. I call Dylan's mom, Paula, and she says to me, well, Heather, you and Dylan should just sleep on the floor at your dad's house. Now, keep in mind, my dad and my grandma live in one-bedroom, tiny places with many other people. Paula has a big townhouse with a finished basement and money in the bank. My family does not. So I wasn't offended. I'm like, cool, Paula's helped me in the past.
Okay. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna say whatever I say. Whatever I think, I'm gonna let y'all know. I would feel some type of way if I was Heather and I'm dating this lady's this lady's son, holding him down all throughout his prison sentence, putting money on his books, visiting him. Even Dylan admitted that Heather was there more than, you know, his mom was. Yeah, I know his mom has a life. I know he's the one who put himself in that situation. But what I don't understand is he made it seem like they weren't as like committed, I guess. But why would he have his parole address wherever she was living if he did not plan on being with her for a while? You know, like if he was already having issues, if he, I don't know when he decided to end the relationship, but if he was already feeling some type of way before he got out of prison, wouldn't you think that he would be like, hey mom, can I like stay in the basement and parole at your house? Because I mean, I have never been on probation, but I mean, surely you can change your address, but it seems like it would be a little difficult. I don't know. That just confuses me. Because at first, I could see it many different ways. You know, like at first I was like, well, I know Heather and Dylan's mom, like they were getting along, they were close. At some point in time, maybe Dylan's mom didn't really care for Heather that much. I'm not sure when that happened. I don't know that story, but maybe his mom was like, you know what? I don't care for Heather. I don't want you around Heather. So if you want, you can stay here. And then she just didn't tell Heather that. Maybe she told, you know, Heather, like, you and Dylan can go stay somewhere else because maybe she didn't want Heather at her place. And maybe that was her way of I don't know. I don't know if this is making sense. Because I was just so confused. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, it's messed up for his mom to be like, oh, you have 3 kids. You are with my son. You've been holding him down, helping take care of him. This horrible incident happened. Yeah, y'all gonna have to like stay on the floor somewhere. Like, wouldn't she be like, y'all can stay in the basement until y'all can get something, figured out? And then I was like, well, I mean, because that would upset me if I was Heather. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe something happened and Dylan's mom stopped caring like that for Heather. Maybe something happened and she realized, this girl is not good for my son. Maybe she told Heather, y'all are going to have to stay. Maybe she told Heather, y'all are going to have to stay somewhere else. And maybe she told Dylan secretly, if you want, you could come here, but I don't feel comfortable with Heather staying here. It's weird. And then, so I see Heather's side, I see his mom's side, and then I wonder about him. Because then I'm still, like, why would you be paroled wherever Heather is paroled at? If you started feeling some type of way, why wouldn't you parole at your mama's?
She doesn't want to help now, that's her own prerogative. I asked my family, like, can we sleep on the floor? Like, I need a parole address for this man. Paul was ready to let his ass just sit in jail, I guess. Or go to a halfway house. I don't know what her plan was. But she wasn't trying to help. So Aunt Diane says, I go over to Aunt Diane's and I tell her what's going on. And I hadn't spoken to this part of my family in almost 2 years.
Okay, which I think, first of all, rest in peace, Aunt Diane. And I know we all unfortunately saw how freaking crappy Heather treated her. I don't know why she acted like that. It was so weird. It was almost like she was jealous of her poor aunt talking to Dylan, and Dylan was like, bro, like, I'm staying in her house, I'm gonna be nice. I mean, even if he wasn't gonna stay in her house, he should still be nice and polite. He was just like freaking talking to her, being nice, and she's all freaking flipping out because all the attention was not on her. And now that she just said how she didn't talk to that side of the family for 2 years. You didn't talk to them for 2 years, but yet you living in her place, and then as soon as you get there, you're going to treat her like that.
And I tell her what's going on. And I hadn't spoken to this part of my family in almost 2 years. I was just on my own shit. I was living by myself. I was taking care of my children. I was working every moment that the kids weren't around. And I'd see him on holidays, but we didn't really have a close relationship. So Aunt Diane says yes. And I'm blown away. I'm like, man, this lady's a saint. Thank you so much, Aunt Diane. I'm so grateful, And she has Aunt Stacy's old house in Elmhurst. So I'm like,
I really didn't want to be negative, but it was getting on my nerves. I really wish Heather would have been more grateful. It's like she forgot what we saw on TV. And it kind of sucks because it's like, if that's how she acted, like, through TV, I pray she didn't act worse, like, in real life. And like she said, like, she wouldn't just...
Oh, we have our own bedroom here.
Oh, she said that she didn't talk to them much. It's been a couple years. But yet, Aunt Diane, she's the one who came through. And then Heather treats her like crap. And then we all know, unfortunately, what has happened. I don't want Heather to, like, dwell and feel like crap, but I do want her to remember you don't know when it's someone's last day. So she really needs to remember to chill out and be nice. Like, especially if it's your freaking family. Like, that was just really sad. And I know it's TV, so I'm praying it just captured the worst, absolute worst moments. And I don't know. I just couldn't imagine.
We can get on our feet, you know? So I'm so excited to tell this man, like, I'm all stabbed up, like, my car just got booted. It was just not a good time, but I found a way, you know? I barely have anything left from the flood. So every single check that I get from any promo I'm working or any fitness planning I'm doing is going to getting clothes again for myself and my kids. If I get $200, I go to the store and get us each a pair of leggings and us each a pack of socks, you know, and that's how it was going. Every time I got a little money, I'll go to the store and I would get, you know, a little bit, one thing for each of the four of us. So, the day comes that Dylan's about to get out and the show says they want to get us an Airbnb for filming rather than filming at Anti-Ann's. And I say, okay. They don't let me pick the place. They pick the place on Austin in Oak Park. And I'm telling them, like, man, you guys, Chicago traffic is horrendous. And we have all these days planned out. We were going to look at bridal venues for the wedding in the West Loop. We were going to do a pro show.
That's crazy. I was kind of wondering why they would not, like, want to film at Aunt Diane's, but not that, you know, her family would, like, get in the way, but I'm sure they wanted, like, all the
days planned out. We were going to look at bridal venues for the wedding in the West Loop. We were going to do a pro shoot with Bruce in Lake Bluff. And that was my gift to Dylan for coming home, the Mrs. Y12173 shoot, and I'll link that too, it's posted. But all of that was already curated for filming in the show. So I didn't know why they wanted to be in Oak Park, but, you know, that, whatever, I wasn't going to argue. They were paying for this huge Victorian house. It had like 8 bedrooms, it was huge. I said, okay. The day of filming, I get a flat tire on the way to the house. Now I'm stranded in Oak Park. Again, I have probably $200 left, again, to my name. So the show comes the next morning. A producer named Stephanie, she was super cool. She picks me up with the rest of the crew, the videographer, and a couple of other guys, the sound guy, some guy working a drone. They were all cool. Preston, I forgot the rest of their names. They were all cool.
I wonder if she's going to say anything after this, but I find that kind of ironic because there are so many videos where she blames the production crew for messing up her life, saying that they talked Dylan into leaving her. And just, like, whenever she says they, most of the time she was talking about the production. Like, she thought that the people from WeTV had, like, a fucking part-time job to just screw her life up, and they were just doing it for free. But now she's saying everyone was, like, super cool and sweet. I don't know if she's gonna change it up in a minute, but that was kind of ironic.
And the producer hadn't flown in yet, the main producer. It was the assistant producer, Stephanie. So I'm not okay, you know, at this time. And I'm telling them, like, I don't think I should do this. Like, every omen, every sign that I've gotten has been like, I shouldn't do this. Dylan and I are fighting a lot. And they had me show all the letters, hundreds of letters and cards and correspondence that he had sent. But I wasn't feeling it, you know? And I didn't really trust Dylan anymore. And I just had bad vibes, real bad vibes. But true to character.
Okay, I'm sorry. Why are they looking at wedding venues and he's being paroled to her house or with her if everything is starting to get bad with them? Like, wouldn't you think major decisions like a wedding, they would be like, let's hold that off? Being paroled with somebody, like maybe you should be paroled, like I said, at your mom's house.
I fell victim to the coercion or vulnerable to the peer pressure, or I didn't stand in my own energy enough. I felt like bogus saying no now that everyone was there, even though I had been saying no the whole time, even though I was told that the contract was predatory.
What?
But I did alter the contract how they told me to in black ink and cross out the parts that were not right and make my alterations and send it back. So I was having mixed feelings overall. I was anxious, I was nervous.
I'm sorry.
And bad.
I can't. If you were saying no the whole time, you wouldn't be on there. I mean, I don't. It's like she wanted to throw in at the last minute. She wasn't really feeling it, so she didn't want to do it. And then she wants to say, I was saying no the whole time. No. If you were saying no the whole time, y'all wouldn't have gotten as far as y'all did. They wouldn't have showed up and started filming if you were saying no the whole time. So let's just, obviously, Heather, like, you wanted this.
Stuff was happening every turn. So the show takes me and the kids to drop the kids off to their dad so we could start filming and to replace the tire in my car. And the next 7 days, or 5 to 7 days, it was just me and the producers. And we did a whole bunch of filming, all of it positive. We didn't have any arguing, we didn't have any issues. I think there was one issue when I got worked up because I was on my period and the cameras wouldn't go away. Or they came in the shower while I was in the bathroom with the cameras, or something like that. Like I needed a break and I was asking for it and they were not going. So let's fast forward to the day that, P.S. they didn't show any of that shit on the final air of the show. They didn't show the wedding venues. They didn't show much of the photo shoot. They didn't show any of those 5 days where they're having positive interactions with me. None of that aired. So that kind of pissed me off, but you'll see why that's pertinent in a minute. So we go to pick up Dylan on the day that he's getting out. Again, I'm on my period. We can't even, like, I had to change my tampon in a bush outside of Stateville. That's what kind of, like, it was crazy. Like, you're just on these schedules for filming and you have to get it done some way, so I was rolling with the punches, like, it's cool, I got this. Dylan comes out, I'm the one the whole time, like, we need to get to Anti-An's and check in with the parole, we need to go, and the whole time Dylan was in prison, it's me calling his caseworker, making sure he gets to see the nurse when he's having eczema breakouts, making sure that, all his business is in order the whole time that he was in prison, the whole 4 years, 3.5 years, whatever. Whether he was in Vienna or Stateville, it's always been me helping him and receiving his phone calls and making sure that he's okay. So, the show wants to stop and get food. The show wants to do this and that. All I want to do is go to the car wash and go home to Anti-An's house. Every day when Dylan would call me, babe, where are you? Are you almost here? Babe, are you going to make it to the visit? Which I always did. I would be nervous right before I would see him because of everything that I had to go through for the check-in process. When you're checking into a prison visit, it is so stressful. It would be a 50-50 chance whether or not they would send me away because of my outfit, because of my something that was wrong.
Okay. Then, if you go numerous times, Unfortunately, I have been. But if I'm saying, like, Heather, if she has gone numerous times, even if she's went once or twice, she knows what to wear and what not to wear. Like, I thought she was about to say, like, she would get, like, anxious for the check-ins because they have to, like, pat you down. Because I didn't like that, obviously. I mean, who does? But I thought that's what she was about to say. But to be turned away, like, the only reason why they would turn you away is if you were not dressed appropriately and you couldn't go fix it, or if you freaking had something on you that you weren't supposed to have on you. And even then, depending on who it is, they may give you a chance to go put it up and then come back, depending on what it is. I'm sure if they thought it was like contraband that you were trying to get inside the prison, then I'm sure that would be a different story. But how do you go to all these visits every weekend so many times, but you don't know if you're going to be turned away because of something you're wearing or something? Girl, if you need to, I mean, dang, like, sorry, too much talking, sorry.
And it depended which staff was working, because one staff was working, you could show up in a fucking leotard and they wouldn't say anything. But if a different staff is working, your jeans are too tight, your sweatpants are not allowed. There's no way to tell. You could go in baggy as fuck and they'd find a if they're looking for a reason, they'd find one. So it was just very anxiety producing for me. So right before the visit, I'd always go through this car wash and crank up my music, smoke a cigarette, and I quit smoking cigarettes after that. Haven't smoked since 2019. And Dylan would always call, "Where are you?" "I'm at the car wash." So I wanted to go through the car wash with him to show him, like, this is where I was having my anxiety attacks every single time you called. And go home to Aunt Diane's house to be met by the parole officer. But the show said no, we had to go to dinner. Well, the show didn't air it like that either. The show airs it like I'm some negligent bitch trying to get him in trouble, not caring if the parole officer, puts him back in prison. And he's running commentary supporting that false narrative. So now I look like some sort of bogus ass bitch when in reality, I'm the one trying to keep him on the straight and narrow and keep him doing what he's supposed to be doing. So we get to Aunt Diane's and he was late for the parole officer. And keep in mind, the show wasn't there visiting him for those 4 years. The show wasn't getting knocked around for 4 years, coming up with $1,000 a month or a week to drive all the way down to Vienna to visit him. The show wasn't there every weekend visiting him in Stateville. The show wasn't there. Aunt Diane wasn't there. Aunt Stacy wasn't there. Paula wasn't there.
I wish I could look it up, but for some reason I feel like I remembered her getting, like, aggravated because she was trying to get to Aunt Diane's house and she was freaking out and he wasn't freaking out, but she was freaking out about the time. Is that me? I don't feel like looking it up right now because it's been taking me so long.
No one was there
to just do this video. So, do y'all remember? I don't remember very much of it because I feel like it's been so long. But for some reason, I feel like I remember her freaking out trying to get Dylan to the house. And he wasn't too, freaked out. Like, I thought that's what happened on the show. Or am I thinking about another couple? Y'all let me know what y'all remember.
Just me and Dylan. So it's now 5-6 hours after he gets out, and I haven't even had 1 second alone with this man. Not a single minute. Nothing. I'm pissed. They promised that we would have some privacy. I didn't want to have sex. I just wanted him to hold me and just be with me. So I'm trying to curb my attitude, I already was super anxious because I had cameras in my face for 7 days. My anxiety, my PTSD, I had already gone into great detail with the show about PTSD and anxiety. Me personally, I've been held against my will before. One of my main triggers is being held against my will. I told them this too many times to count. And they promised me, if you ask for your space, we'll give it to you. That was a lie. So, when we get to Anti-Ans, and Dylan had already gone over with me over and over, babe, these reality shows, they like to split the couples up and pit us against each other. We're not going to let them do that. No way. We're not going to let them do that. We're already up on game, blah, blah, blah. And I trusted him. As soon as we pull into Anti-Ans house, they separate us. Now keep in mind, he just promised me for like the millionth time he wasn't going to let them do that. I'm stressed out because we're late getting home to the parole officer, and now I'm standing on one side of North Avenue while they're having a private conversation with him on the other side of North Avenue and won't let me hear what's going on or be a part of it. Super sus. Super, super sus. So my nerves and my tolerance for bullshit was already negative. And I'm trying to turn my attitude around for the cameras, but bro, I was on day 7 of filming with no respect, I felt, for my issues, for my...
Okay, stop. You're just contradicting yourself again. You just said, like, the first 5 days were, like, awesome, no problems, no arguments, blah. And now you're saying 7 days, no respect. First of all, I mean, the more she talks, like, it's like I feel bad for her because I know it has got to be hard losing somebody that you love. But it just makes me want to be like, this is another reminder why you should not love him anymore. Like, let him go. He's ruining your life. Stop thinking about him. And every single time she talks about him, it's like, why are you still talking about him? Why do you care? Like, I just wish she would, like, heal from all this and just move on. Because obviously, the things that she says, and I know some things are not true, but if this is what she's even thinking in her head, like, it should be like, well, if he sat there and promised you that, you know, that he wasn't going to let the show tear y'all apart, or, you know, he has your back, or, you know, he was going to let you know what was said and whatever. Well, guess what? If that happened, yeah, it's crappy on the producer's fault on the TV show, you know, but unfortunately that's what they do. But, you know, you should be mad at him. And that, if he did that, that just shows you what type of person he is, and you shouldn't want anything to do with somebody like that. But these shows, they do take people aside, obviously, as we all know.
Respect I felt for my issues, for my anxiety, for my PTSD, for the things that I had so kindly requested and explained graciously and was promised would not be an issue. So they keep on pushing him to shoot scenes with Aunt Stacy and Aunt Diane. And I'm standing there like, what the fuck? We can do family photo sharing tomorrow. Can I be with my husband? Like, it was too much. And I asked them calmly probably 10 times before I snapped off. But of course on TV, you don't see any of that. You don't see me begging them for time. You don't see me asking for space. You don't see any of that. You see me negligently not caring if he makes it to the parole office or home for the parole officer. And then me snapping off because he's paying attention to Aunt Diane and Aunt Stacy, which was never the issue. So again, I feel like the network 100...
Okay, stop. For one, it was the issue. You literally just said it was the issue. and I'm trying not to talk so much because it's taking me forever to record this, and I'm trying to get it up for y'all. But I feel like the world will end if I do not put in my 2 cents. And plus, I'm one of those people who was saying that she was getting upset because he was spending time with them, but she was. Whether or not they showed her asking,
100% ruined my.
Whether or not they didn't show her saying, "Hey, can I please have time with him by myself?" The bottom line, you did get mad that he was spending time with them. Which I mean, I completely understand. If I had an old man for years who'd been locked up, I would want to have time with him by myself. But unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you did sign up for the freaking show.
My reputation, professionally and otherwise, in the way that they fraudulently depicted me. And I'm still pretty fucking pissed about it. I've had a lot of issues since then. A lot of issues. Stalking, slander, libel, multiple social media accounts being shut down, being followed both in person and online by people.
Okay, stop. I'm trying, y'all. I'm really trying not to stop it because I want to get this done. But it's now, here we are. So now she's blaming the show, how the show portrayed her. Ever since then, she has been stalked and harassed, and Instagram freaking accounts have been hacked. And I think what her problem is she just cannot let it go. Just let it go. I mean, sadly, that's even reality shows. They kind of will alter things for however they want, you know? So, I mean, it sucks, but it's for the TV. I mean, obviously, there's some big truth into what they did show because they can't make up everything, but how they edit things, I know can be messed up because there's so many reality shows where they do the same thing. Like, you're not the only one, Heather. There's a lot of people out there who's like, oh, they made me out to be the villain, or I don't like how they made me out to be this season. It's just, it sucks. I'm sorry. But you have got to let it go.
Dedicated to smearing my name. When I say in person, I mean chased down in cars with vanity plates, saying ignorant and disgusting things like "come in me" for miles at a time. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, from there, after that, we end up going to Aunt Diane's, and then we leave Aunt Diane's and go.
It just makes me so mad because they didn't chase her down. Like, what I think happened was, for one, I think it was just a coincidence, but also what could have happened, it was just somebody who was probably trying to get around Heather, and she was probably like paranoid and freaking out, and it just so happened to be the same type of car that she has. And whether or not that person knew it, that they have a similar car, I don't think it was an issue. Like, I really, really don't think there was somebody out there who was like, let me get the same car that Heather has, and then let me get a license plate made. Let me go through all this type of trouble and money, and then I'm going to drive by her and hope that she reads my license plate. That's not how the world works. Believe me.
Go to the Airbnb. After we're done shooting for the day, Dylan and I go to sleep. We're not in good graces with each other. We're kind of at each other's throats. But he's scared, and I can tell he's scared. And he's like, please don't leave me. And I told him, I'm not going to leave you, but please stop treating the fuck out of me. Please stop letting them, separate us. So we go to sleep. We wake up the next day, and it's me who says, we need to go get your paperwork done. We need to go get your ID. We need to go get all your stuff taken care of. at the DMV. And not the show. I said, I want to go get your shit taken care of, and then I need to fix my nail. I had broken a nail the day before while shooting. He's like, yeah, babe, for sure. I'm like, thank you. We were in a good place. We cleared everything up. We were good. The producers show back up, and they just start pouring fuel all over and then throw a match. He goes into the DMV, and Alan, the producer, comes up to me and goes, oh, he's in there talking to some other woman. You should do something. There's another woman in there that he's talking to. What the fuck, bro? Are you here to shoot a show about people getting out of prison and changing their life? Or are you here to hurt other people? Are you here to talk shit and instigate arguments with other people? What are you here for? Right? I never got an answer for any of that. So I just kind of kept my head down and waited for Dylan to come out. I was 100% not going to let this man instigate me into another fight with Dylan. So Dylan comes out, he got all of his paperwork, and I tell him, we need to go sign you up for your drug classes. NAAA. No, babe, we'll do it later. No, Dylan, I think we should do it now. I knew he had a drug problem before going in. I was sober, and I wanted him to be sober. That never ended up happening. We pull over on the side of the road because the producers want to say something to him. And again, they pull him out of the car. We're all wired for sound. My car's wired for sound and video. They pull him out of the car, separate from me again, and start talking shit about me. She's to this, she's to that. And I looked out the car window and I told Dylan, I'm leaving. I'm going to go get my nail fixed. You want to keep leaving me to be with them after promising that you'd stay with me and we were going to be together on this and united on this? I'm not going to fight with you. What's mine is mine. If this is my time, if this time was meant for me, you'd be here with me. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force anyone. I don't force myself on anyone, ever. So what ends up happening is he gets in the car with me. The show gets on my ass in the van and says, nope, you guys are not leaving. We're paying you for this time. And they start chasing me down the street. I switch into full-blown PTSD. I'm crying. I'm having flashbacks. I'm feeling closed in on. And the next thing I remember, I'm outside of my car on the floor, underneath the hood, screaming, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. The show filmed all of that.
Did they?
I end up going back to the Airbnb, and I'm still in PTSD.
Why did they show that? I don't remember that. That's crazy. Why would she, like, usually you, like, if you have, like, PTSD, like, she's never said that she had any incidents where she got shot at. So I wonder why she would go under the hood and say, don't shoot.
Yeah, I'm still in shock.
Like, why would you say, don't shoot, don't shoot? Usually if someone says that and they have, like, PTSD of being shot at. I don't know. That's weird.
And I'm crying and I'm telling Dylan, please stay with me. Take me away from here. Like, please help me. Like, I'm not okay right now. I need help. You know, I'm hyperventilating. I can't breathe. I'm crying. I'm begging this man, please. He dips with the producers again. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I think that Dylan and I are done. I think that any man who truly loves a woman is not going to leave her in that state.
Exactly.
And I really, at this point, wanted nothing to do with him ever again. He calls me, tells me that they got us a hotel room at the Alizé Pineapple. We go to the Alizé Pineapple, and he gets on his knees and tells me, you left me today. I just got out of prison, I have no phone, and you left me today. But I still love you, and I still want to be with you. And I said, I left you? You, on the sneak, left me at the Airbnb. How did I leave you? I didn't leave you. I sure didn't leave you. We make up. He says sorry. I try to be understanding. Okay, the man just got out of prison. This is a lot for me. I'm sure it's a lot for him as well. So I just try my hardest to be as understanding of him as I want him to be of me in that moment. And we went out. We went to a little bar and grill. We got food, a bottle of wine. Dylan got drunk. I took a bath. That was the first time he asked me if I wanted to bring a third person into the relationship. This is day 2 of him getting out. I started crying again. I'm like, I can't be with you. I gotta go, you know? He knows damn well that all I want is monogamy. Day 2, you're out of prison. You're asking me to bring in a third person to our relationship, and no, it was not Marissa. I lost it. I told him I couldn't do it anymore. He came back with me to Aunt Diane's, begging me, saying he loves me, saying he would change, saying he didn't really want that he was just asking. But nothing was the same after that day. We stayed at Aunt Diane for 2 weeks, and then I went back to my apartment with Aunt Stacy and we cleaned. Dylan came and helped us clean. I was still living at Aunt Diane's with Dylan at this time. We were working out every day, going to export every day, going to the grocery store every day, setting up his bank accounts. Things were not good, but I was trying to tough it out, trying to give it time. After we get the apartment clean, Dylan tells me he has a hair appointment downtown, that he's going to the salon to get his hair done. Keep in mind, me and my kids have no clothes, no money, nothing. We just been flooded out. I've been stabbed. We're living with my Aunt Diane, but this man is about to go drop $300-400 at a salon downtown to get his hair, to get pampered.
Hell no.
Sounds like real nigga shit, right? So I'm trying again not to be upset. He just got out of prison. I'm trying to be understanding. Well, that's when he starts asking me for money. Well, if you're not going to give me the money.
Okay, see, if all this stuff, I'm trying really hard to let it play through, but y'all know it's hard for me not to say something, and plus, I kind of have to. But hopefully, if anything, doing these videos would, like, maybe it'll help her, whether she stumbles upon my channel, Tough Love, or she watches it, whether she watches it back from after recording it. Because I hear all of these things that Dylan supposedly did. I don't know if he did it or not. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it. He seems like that type. No offense. I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know. But if she says that he did it, if she thinks that he did it, like, that should be, I wish that would be, like, enough for her to be like, wow, he is a little F-boy. Like, what am I thinking? Like, he's nothing. He's a POS. Like, I want nothing to do with him. Like, he has ruined my life. Be like, she kept on and kept on and kept on, and I understand, like I said, it's hard to get out of a relationship, especially whenever you're like, and I'm not saying Dylan's this, but I'm just saying, like, whenever you're, like, in love with someone, or it's a very manipulative, narcissist, like, relationship, it's really hard to leave, and so you want to give it, like, so many chances. But then one day, like, you'll sit there and you'll be like, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and then it's like, why the hell did I stay for so long? Like, how many things need to go bad before I wake up and realize this is not okay? Like, I just need to go. And I wish she would get there. I wish she could see, you know what? Since day one, like, he was nothing. And I'm sitting here today, years later, complaining about him. I need to let him go because he was nothing. Like,
we'll leave that conversation to another day. I did give him all the money I had. All of it. He took it. Never gave it back, never helped me.
Why would you
So we
do
get into
that?
another fight at Aunt Diane's, and he tells me, I'm sorry. We get back from him getting his hair done after he just took all the money I had. And as soon as I pull into Aunt Diane's driveway, his mom and dad pull behind me so I can't move my car. They jump out of the car and say, Dylan, get your shit. Dylan didn't tell me he was leaving. I start bawling again, like, you're leaving me like this? What the fuck? He packs all his stuff and goes. Texts me telling me that he's going to stay at an Airbnb for a while he gets his mind right. Well, he didn't go to an Airbnb. He went to that girl Allie's house. I later found out he was texting her the same day he got out. Girl Allie's house. I later found out he was texting her the same day he got out. But I didn't know that until months later. I moved back into my apartment after it's been cleaned. There's mold, but at least I have somewhere to go. I start looking for work again. Dylan's selling renewable energy. He has no car. He starts asking me to use my car.
No.
I'm still under the impression he's with an Airbnb, not living with a woman. 2 weeks passed that he's in this Airbnb using my car to go to work. And he tells me he's got an opportunity. This is also the same time I got the opportunity to go to Cali to work on my portfolio and do some modeling stuff. So I'm telling him, should I go to Cali? And he's telling me I want to move back in. He's been using my car. He's selling renewable energy. I'm thinking he's getting his life back together. And maybe we can fix this. You know, maybe those were just growing pains at the beginning of the relationship. I go to Cali, I'm scared. I don't want to go to Cali. I told him I'm scared. I don't want to go. He said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. He motivated me, gassed me up. All right, you're right, babe. I go to Cali. Day 3 in Cali, I was uncomfortable. I had a good host. He was very kind to me. But I was feeling some feelings that in all reality, you shouldn't be feeling when you're in a relationship with someone. This is brand new, by the way. I'm in here. You guys see me in here every single morning at this time, Solita. Don't think this is a coincidence.
What?
So I go to Cali, and I'm just uncomfortable. He was a very nice host, very generous, kind. But some things happened that I was not happy with, and I wanted to go home early. And Dylan had told me the whole time, if you're uncomfortable, just let me know, and I'll fly you back home. Well, when I asked him to fly me back home, I knew he was high. And that was it. I knew that it was downhill from there. He was hanging out with Peter and Honey and getting high. He still hadn't even been out for a month. He had my car, my apartment, and he refused to fly me home early. So the guy who was helping me with my portfolio booked me a flight back home early. Ubered me to the airport, and I flew back home. I get home, and my flight lands, and I ask Dylan, are you going to pick me up from the airport? And he says, I can't, I'm working. No problem. I take the train home with all my luggages, go home, realize he has the only key to my apartment. This is my apartment. I got it for us. I call him to find out where he's at. He tells me. I get on the train and I go to pick up my keys. I had already been training to sell renewable energy with him for about 2 or 3 weeks prior to this. So I knew, that he was outside working, and I wasn't mad. I had made a bunch of sales under his name that I hadn't been paid for. I guess the training is free. And I didn't care because we were together. We were husband and wife, living together, sharing our bills, sharing our car. So I just tried my best those next few weeks I got the keys and went home, and I tried my best those next few weeks to just do a good job, keeping up the house, being with the kids, selling renewable energy, and staying as balanced as I possibly could under the circumstances. About 2 weeks after that, Dylan and I started looking for another apartment, and we found the apartment on Roscoe together. We went and viewed it together, and it was perfect. It had 2 bedrooms, one for the kids upstairs, one for him and I, the master, a garage for my car. He still didn't have a car yet. So we say yes to the apartment, and we go back to the apartment, my apartment, that I had before he got out. And we stayed living there, and we decided, okay, should we sublease this apartment for the remainder of the lease, or the one we just got, stay here so we could make more money on that apartment while we live here a few months and then move? Well, we couldn't even make a decision on that because that same night, another flood came. We grabbed the kids in the middle of the night, packed all our stuff, and moved to the apartment on Roscoe. So now it's the 4 of us living in the apartment on Roscoe. It's September 2019. We lived there together from September, selling renewable energy, through November 24th, which was the day that some guy was in the gangway of the apartment, and I called the police for help. And when the police showed up, instead of them helping, they called my children's fathers and had them removed from the home and left me there in the apartment alone. Dylan wasn't home. I have photo and video of that whole entire occurrence. No other help was offered. So now it's just me and Dylan living in our apartment. It's December, I'm sorry. I'm bringing the kids only on weekends because Dylan's drug use has gotten way out of control. Way out of control. I'm calling his mom. I'm trying to urge him into AA and A. He's refusing. Finally, he starts beating me. The kids were not home. He beat me real bad. And the next morning when I woke up from being beaten, I called the parole office. And I asked the parole officer I told the parole officer the whole entire situation from the time he got out to that day. Then I asked to talk to the parole officer's boss. And I told him the entire situation. I have photos, I have videos, I have proof, I have witnesses, I have testimony, I have police reports. I need help. And they tell me that they can't do anything to help me. Keep in mind, no parole officer has ever even been to the house to check on him, not a single one time that he's been out. So I'm gonna leave it there for now because we have company. I just didn't want to leave it in the middle right there, but I'll pick it back up in a couple of days. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Heather Coco Senza signing out. I'll see you guys later.
Oh my gosh. They were still there. It's over for anyone it's over. I was so embarrassed for her whenever someone walked in, but then I was like, you know what, maybe it's just like really early in the morning and it's like someone like doing trash or something. But they stayed in there and she sat there talking. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine that being that person walking in and hearing this crazy story that she's saying? I wonder if they like recorded her. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she kept on with all of that personal information while someone was there. Crazy. So I guess she's gonna do another recap soon.